about CE5 and extraterrestrial contact, download my new book, now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple, and 14 other platforms. Book authored by Donald Ledesma. CE5, Frequencies of Contact.
And Major Hector Quintanilla is now the chief of Project Blue Book. Major Quintanilla, what are the objectives of Project Blue Book?
As I'm standing there, I kind of, it's a very hard feeling to describe. Skinny arms, skinny legs, but I could only see about half of this thing.
It was just an eye-opening experience. There was a ship coming over the house.
It was like a white light sort of thing that we saw. It was coming out of a cloud.
Hi, everyone. Hey, welcome to this episode of Alien Strand Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Desma, and welcome to today's show. Man, let me tell you, I say this a lot, but it's okay. This one is going to give me chills. It's going to give you chills too, because at the very end of this podcast, I have something special to show you, and that recently came out, and I want you guys to see that. But before we get going, just thank you guys for just being a part of this podcast today, and just watching today and watching everything that I'm about to tell you guys. Don't forget to catch us on Spreaker. We are live on Spreaker, not today, but we are doing a lot of podcasts on Spreaker. Go check us out. There's an audio podcast. I've been doing a lot of those lately. I've been doing a few of them as well. So my last one I just did was called A Temple of Life. Okay, so that has a lot to do with frequencies, the 963 hertz, the God frequency, and that how you can use that for your healing, right? And how that can heal you in a sense to just kind of give you a better day, right? So let's see who we got out there. We got David Aliff. We got, let's see, Ryan Keaton. All right, my brothers are out there, man. They're my number ones out there, man. Thank you guys for watching tonight. It's gonna be pretty freaking interesting today, dude. All you guys out there, everybody, but I couldn't I done any of this without any of you guys posting a lot of this stuff out there where I can see these things happen, and just know that this is where you're going to get disclosure here today, right? and I'm going to show you a lot of disclosure. I'm going to give you a couple breakdowns and my analysis and my thoughts of what we're seeing, what we're going to be seeing unfold here today. A couple of videos, and we have some videos as well. I mean, photos as well and videos. So don't forget, follow us on YouTube. If you're live on YouTube, thank you. Give me a thumbs up, like right now. Give me a thumbs up on it, man. Give me a heart on it if you can on YouTube, even on our Patreon. Right after it'll be on Patreon after this. I got a discount going on that, so if you want to go to our Patreon and be a free member, you can be a free member too. You don't have to pay, or you can pay the membership. Hey, man, it's all there for you guys. Don't forget, you just saw the commercial to the middle tetralogy. It's out there, man. The middle one, the middle two, and the middle three is out there on Amazon Prime. All right, that's disclosure, man. All this is about disclosure, and is about everybody out there giving out their information on ufology and everything that's been coming abroad. Now, I'm going to get into this because this might take a little bit. All right, so if you got a little time to spend with me, so here we go, man. We've been talking a lot about the actual extraterrestrial itself. Now, I know that a lot of times that we are, we see nothing but UFOs. People are videotaping them every day. They're throwing them on these groups, which is great. Thank you guys for doing that. Dates and times are very important. Okay, so let's make sure that if you're doing out there, throw a date, throw a time on there, a stamp, where it's at, all that good stuff. We need that data. All right. So if you're doing that, thank you, man. And there's UFOs everywhere. Now, there was supposed to be a UFO war up in the sky yesterday. We were talking about it because this computer or whatever had predicted that it had predicted a lot of things that came true, right? So it was saying something about an alien war that was going to happen up in the skies, right? On the 3rd, I believe. I know today we're the 4th, so we all survived it. We survived it. If it did happen, it did happen while we were asleep or in a different dimension. Let's just put it to you that way. It might have happened that way. Hell, we don't know. But I've been talking a lot. If you've been following my Patreons, following everything, I've been talking about a lot. This little guy, a lot. Why? Because we've been getting so many lately actual physical evidence of these little extraterrestrials. Okay, and people have actually been catching witness to a lot of these extraterrestrials that are out there, and they've been getting photos, videos. I had a woman sent me some stuff last night. It was kind of hard for me to break it down because a lot of times they're behind trees or they're shadowing. That is very hard. Now, if you're going to take a picture, please try not to do it behind glass because the smears on the glass, reflections, actually throw a lot of let's just say obstructions in the way to where we have to go past that. And it's kind of hard when we're doing analysis. We'd like to see the raw image of right there in front of it if you can, right? And that's the great part of it. But all right, so they threw this photo out, right? This was like about 2 weeks ago, and I threw it out on Alien Strand, right? And I actually shared it with Alien Strand podcast with everybody out there. And I did this because I've never seen anything like this before, right? And this was the weirdest part about this one. It looks human, but at the same sense, it has the large eyes. Now, could this be a human that has possible some kind of sickness in his eyes that will do that? I don't know. You guys tell me if that's what you think, because it has the humanistic characteristics of the nose, right? The mouth, the neck. It's actually wearing some kind of clothes. But this picture was supposed to be from an alien crash back in the 50s, right? And this is where this photo came from. It was on one of these extraterrestrials. Now, who's to say, right? Who's to say that these things are not, that they don't look like that, right? We're so used to seeing them looking this way that, lately, that why not have more humanistic characteristics, right? As far as maybe a possible hybrid, right? And that's what we're looking at in the sense of these extraterrestrials, right? And how we try to break these down into looking, okay, man, it's got a lot of features there. It has a nose. You can see the nose, the mouth. Mouth is very tiny, very thin, and it has some ears. Most of the times on these extraterrestrials, you will not see any ears, right? Or they'll be very tiny marks of the ears, right? And when these extraterrestrials start coming out more and more, People are just having to be at the right place at the right time. Now, could it be because everybody now these days has a phone? Yes. And a camera? Yes. This is we're in a better age of technology to where we can actually grab these stills, photos, videos, and everything like that, right? So we can get that going out there, right? And let's see. Ryan Keaton says there has been a lot going on. Davis says definitely that things are ramping up out there. Yes, they are. And how do we how do we just break these things down? By the only way we're going to do it is with us, right? We are the connection, right? And I always talk about this: aliens and people. What is the connection? Well, I believe we are the connection, right? In a sense to where people might think, well, are we are we a part of this extraterrestrial? Is our DNA strands mixed in with these things? I don't know. I, the only people that would know that was the industrial complex, right? People from the 1940s, 50s, maybe Area 51, S4. I'm sure they got a grasp on something like that, right? To where they broke down the DNA strands of these extraterrestrials and possibly found maybe a human hybrid connection, right? Of some sort, maybe, right? So I saw this video and I posted out there the other day, yesterday or this morning. I think it was this morning. This woman was talking about how our DNA strands rejuvenate or refix themselves every 6 million years, right? And it changes into a different sequence, right? To where, how long we have it right now? Well, it started way down here, right? And every 6 million years or something like that, 600,000 years, it grows and it changes. So, and they said that the DNA strand of the human being has it goes back 6 billion years old. But they're saying that the planet Earth is 3 billion years old, right? So the connection of the DNA strand is our DNA is not from here, right? Possibly. I don't know. Did we come from somewhere else? In the heavens, in the universe, wherever, right? It just, that kind of triggered my mental thought process of what if, man, and if they can trace the DNA all the way back that far to where it started growing and in other words, our features were changing, right, as our DNA was going, basically, right? And maybe, but all right. So we're gonna do a little bit of supernatural here, a little bit of Bigfoot too, sort of, or supernatural ish. Now I don't know if you guys, I'm gonna play this video for you real quick. Check this out. Check this out, man. And you tell me if you've seen this video before. All right. So that is pretty spooky looking, right? We all seen it. I saw it yesterday and the day before. It started popping up on my feeds. And I guess this is from another country. And I was trying to figure it out. Is this thing real or what is it, right? It moves too fast, right? Could it be a ghost, a spirit, maybe, or just an entity that moves so quickly? Not too sure, right? And this is what I was talking to John Dickinson and a couple of people, even Ani Ball and on a different chat, that we are so far into ufology, right? That we've been doing this for a long time. A lot of people out there, like you guys out there, maybe if you're new to this, you just started. We've been doing this for a long time. And we've been telling you this, all of this that you've been seeing lately on these feeds and UFOs everywhere. People are just, even in San Antonio, somebody got this sphere this cylinder that was kind of spinning this way yesterday. It's all over TikTok, right? But the problem with that is that because ufology has grown so much and it's in the news now. It didn't used to be in the news so much. They would call us kooks, quacks, crazy people, tinfoil hats, all that good stuff. they would make fun of us all the time, make fun of people, not even us, because maybe before, how about these people in the 40s and 50s that were telling these stories and people were just laughing at them, right? I wasn't even there yet. I was still a twinkle in my dad's eye, right? And, but this is how it's grown. And I'm getting to my point. The video I just showed you right now, right? I broke it down. Okay. So I'm going to show it to you on the breakdown. So that way you guys can get a sense of what's going on and where my madness is going right now. All right. So here is the actual thing that flies away, right? So you're seeing it goes down. I slow motion the hell out of it. And it goes down and then bam, it takes off, right? And I play it over and over and I slow it down and I'm looking at the face. You see how the face is kind of going up and down, up and down. Now look on top of the head. You see that little white little thing? Okay, so what you're looking at here is somebody's got a string with a mask or a doll, and they let the string go. So you see it lose itself on the top of the head, and then they pull on it real quick and it takes off. All right. I hate to be that guy to debunk that, but yeah, that's what that was. Because they got me on the last one, man, on the alien that was blinking the eye and you see it and it's got covered with the hood. Yeah, they got me on that one. They didn't get me on this one. So this is why I broke it down the way I did, because I want you guys, if you see that video again, please share it, or whoever's sharing it, tell them that is fake, because that's what that is. You can see it. There's a string. You can't see the string, but on the top of the head, something is being pulled, right? Bam. And then you see it go down and go up. Now, which brings you to my madness, what I was just talking to you about, how we've been doing this a long time, right? So because of that, because we've been doing ufology for such a long time on extraterrestrials and all these little guys out there, right? These people out there are going to start getting into our world and changing it, right? So they're going to be manipulating it as well, right? They're going to start adding things. You're going to see more CGI. You're going to see more bullcrap out there, more things to make you believe that everything you're seeing is real. Now, don't get me wrong. Everything here on Alien Strand or Alien Strand Disclosure Project, we don't say everything's real. No. We have to look at the analysis and the factors of how this thing is moving, how it's being done. We use our analysis as far as the electronic magnetic fields, our filters, all that good stuff, right? And this is where you learn at Alien Strand Podcast, right? So that's my madness part. This is what pisses me off, is that this is what people are going to start doing to make you believe that these things are happening, right? And it's up to us now. Now we got to get away from what we're doing as far as ufologists or people that are showing you the truth and disclosure. Now we got to break away from that and then kind of debunk these people that are doing this crap, right? Sucks, but this is what's out there. Be prepared. What I'm just trying to tell you. Just be prepared for that. All right. All right. I'm going to show you this video of this UFO. I think Marisol she shared it sometime this morning. I saw it. Blew me away. I might have some sound to it, so check this out. All right. So you saw that, right? You saw the pulse, the way it was moving, like it was a blob of mercury of some sort, right? And we've talked about the propulsion systems and the frequencies and how Linda Moulton Howe, how she had a piece of a craft that she found out that it was layer on top of layer, right? And on one of the layers below it was aluminum, right? Pure aluminum, and then above that was bismuth, right? Bismuth is it's highly radioactive, right? It can take the hit of high radiation, right, without melting. It will not melt. It takes, I don't know, 2,000 or 10,000 degrees or whatever for it to even start breaking itself down. Okay, I'm kind of giving you the layers. This is how a UFO craft works, right? Now we've talked about frequencies and how the craft works with some sort of pulse in the inside, right? Could it be a sound pulse? Could it be picking up waves from the earth, right? And then using that, and that's what you're seeing, right? Let me play it again so you can see it again. Yeah, that's remarkable. And it might be CGI, it might not. It just looks too freaking good to me, right? And way up close, right? It's kind of hard to not say it is CGI or AI or whatever, but I it's kind of hard to tell on this one because they did a really good job. Um, and this is the hard part for us now to start breaking these videos down. But I wanted you to see that because that one blew me away. Because it had that pulsing motion that I have never seen before on a craft that turns almost to a liquid sense, right? And which reminds me of what I just talked about, the bismuth, the aluminum, how if it was bombarded, let's say with the element 115, 116 in the middle, the reactor, then it's going to turn into like a blob of liquid metal, right? So basically, what I'm trying to say is that could be real, what I just showed you, and it's just reacting to the frequency of the reactor that's inside of this thing. Maybe, maybe. But getting back to these guys, right? Getting back to these guys. Now, if you guys are commenting on Facebook, the only way I'm going to see them if you comment on Alien Strand, its own page. I'll see those come through right here on top. They'll come there. But if you're commenting, I won't be able to see them until after. All right, because this podcast is only made for the Alien Strand podcast. I shared it from there to the other pages, Alien Strand, and 4 or 5 pages. So I can't read your comments until after. But thank you anyway if you're commenting out there. I appreciate it. I see some right there. Now, if you caught my Patreon when I started talking about Juanito Juan there in Mexico, that he was in close contact with some extraterrestrials. And today is mainly about extraterrestrials, but I wanted to show you some UFO crafts as well. And he has so much activity at his house, in front of his house, inside of his house, of this extraterrestrial being and its crafts that keep coming to him, right? And this is what I talked about, right? About the actual, what is the connection between aliens and people? Why are they so attracted to just one person? Right? Like this gentleman I was talking about right now. And he's all over the place. I mean, I've seen so many people say that he's faking it and debunking it, and there's no debunking his stuff. And I'm going to show you right now why. Why, right? So he had this UFO craft hovering. This was about a week and a half ago. I happened to catch his live video and I did a snap video shot of it. Thank God I did. So he caught this craft above his house, and you're going to look at this and you're going to say, that's a light, street light pole hanging up there. Watch, I'm going to show this to you. He's going to be talking in Spanish. He's going to say, you're not going to believe this. He's saying in Spanish, look at this light, check this out. But look at the trees. Look at everything when you see this video and how high this thing is. All right. So here we go.
Vean eso, mi gente. Vean eso, está completamente estática. Es increíble, mi gente.
All right. Did you see that? That's pretty high. I don't know if they put light poles that high up there, right? Okay. So when I first saw that, he's whispering. You can hear all the dogs going nuts, right? What did I talk about on my first, the middle, when on the Elizabeth Jeffries, she starts talking about how when she saw this light coming down and flashing in front of her house, right in the field, that the dogs are going nuts, right? Same thing's happening here in the background. You can hear all the freaking dogs going crazy, right? They're getting those low 40 hertz frequencies. That's what it is. It's the 40 hertz. It's a low hum. We can't hear it. They can. We can't. And it's bothering the hell out of me. Why? Because I know I have it somewhere on my computer and I play it. Every once in a while, my dogs go nuts. And that's how I know. All right. So anyway, long story long. I broke this down a little bit. Check it. Look what I did. So I got my phone. I lightened it up. I said, I want to make sure that this is not a telephone pole, right? And it's way up there, right? So I start zooming in, and I see the pattern of the lights, right? And then I'm looking at it, and it looks sort of like an arrowhead to me, right? So this is what I do with my phone first. I analyze everything on my phone. I lighten it up, take off a lot of the colors. I sharpen it a little bit. If you sharpen it too much or you put too much definition, it'll pixelate real bad. So you got to be careful. You got to find the sweet spot when you're doing this, right? All right. So I don't know if you guys see that it has a triangular sort of shape, right? So I put the night vision filter on it so you can get a better look at it, right? So here we go. Here's the night vision filter. This is why I call this Ufology 101, because I want you guys to learn what I'm doing here, right? This is a program called Easy Filters. Very simple on your iPhone, or I think they even have it for Droid as well. Now, as you can see, there is a sort of a triangle shape on this craft. And it is a craft because it has electronic magnetic fields. And I'm going to show you that in just a second. But I wanted you guys to see what's starting to come through, right? And it has a sort of diamondy shape like this, right? So I added one more filter to it because I wanted to make sure that it was what I was seeing. And this is Juanito Juan. This is all the activity that's going on at his house. This is on above his house. He sees spheres all the times. He sees during the day UFOs. He's got pictures of them when they're following him. You can see my Patreon when I show you all this. All right. So I added one more filter, and I want you to see this. All right. You see what I'm seeing now? It is a triangular sort of shaped craft up at the sky, way up there. And it does have electronic magnetic fields around it. So we're not looking at a telephone pole, that's 200 feet in the air, because I've never seen a telephone pole that high, 300 feet. This is way up there, man. So what you're looking at here is an actual extraterrestrial craft that is hovering above him, right? And if you noticed in the video, I'm going to play the video one more time so you guys can kind of get an eye of what I'm seeing here. The pattern, it's not like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It's a totally off grid pattern, right? So, and then here it is. I'll show you the pattern.
Vean eso, mi gente. Vean eso, está completamente estática.
Totally off pattern, right? So it's not an aircraft, it's not a drone, right? Totally different patterns. So we know that there is a actual UFO hovering over his house that evening. Dogs are going nuts, right? Going crazy. And then 2 or 3 days ago, he takes some photos, right? And this is from what he's caught so far. And this is all at his house, around his area. He doesn't live in a field or anything like that. He lives in a general neighborhood in Mexico, right? And this is what he's been catching out there on his cameras. His pictures have his name all over it. So you can see exactly what's going on here, right? These things are following him for some reason. And then yesterday, or the day before yesterday, he He finds one of these on the floor. Look at the color. It's a sphere. He compares it to the sphere that was up there in the United Kingdom. Now, mind you, when you see this picture of the sphere that's in the United Kingdom, there is no video of it. It's only a still photo. So if you start watching videos of this, it's AI, okay, that's moving it and moving the sphere around. Now, he's comparing this sphere that he found in his yard, which is a real small, maybe the size of your hand, comparing it to the same colors. He's saying, look at the colors. And then he found this in his yard. He could see, you see the eye of the extraterrestrial standing there? So he's catching all this at his home, right? And it's kind of hard to believe of everything that he's been seeing there, right? And I've been putting it out there and over and over and over of what he caught, right? And I'm going to throw this one more time so you guys can see this.
Otro tapadón de boca para la gente que no cree en esto. Vean cómo empieza a... Y vean ahí, voltea de nuevo, pero ya convertido en humanoide.
Okay, so, and then that's his older video that was about 3 weeks ago. Went freaking viral. He showed everybody, and everybody said, "Oh, it's not." And then I compared it to the heads, the eyes of Skinny Bob, right? This little Zeta Reticuli, the constellation Zeta, and I compared it to these things. Also, and I showed you this one as well. Found at the bottom of the Arizona, in a cave in Arizona. Somebody grabbed a photo of it. Nasty looking. So now that you see this, I'm trying to compare apples to oranges here with you guys, and I'm letting you know that there's many shapes and forms of extraterrestrials, even hybrids, right? Bunch. And all my analysis here is that I'm trying to show you that these things are real, right? I've been saying this over and over and over. And the reason I'm bringing this podcast to you guys today, because I want you guys to see this, and there's experiencers out there watching right now that have seen these things up close. They've seen them look like this, right? They've seen them look all different kinds of ways. And it's like, I'm telling you, I'm not here to make you believe. I'm just giving you the evidence that's out there, man. Now, this is going to be good, all right? I got one more to show you. All right. So this just came out this morning, and I happened to grab it right away. I don't know if anybody's seen it yet. You have to see this. Bam. This was just recorded 1 day ago at night on a security cam. Look at it. Study this thing. Look, there's an extraterrestrial craft in the background. I zoomed into it. Now, and the reason I'm showing this to you, this is an exclusive. This is not AI. This actually looks a lot lighter and looks a lot smokier. I took all the smoke away. I added contrast to it. I gave it a little bit of definition to bring out the actual extraterrestrial. Now, when people talk about some of these extraterrestrials, and this is a tall one. Look at it. It's not a little one. This is an actual tall one. Now, when they talk about these extraterrestrials, grays, here we're looking at a dark greenish gray colored one. There's a UFO craft right there. That they always say the skin almost looks like a suit. Like it's got a suit on. And it does. No mouth. it's almost translucent, the eyes, where it's all one piece. And then you look at the hands, it has about 4 fingers. They look almost human, but smaller. The hands look way smaller. Arms are long. But there's a UFO back there, right? I think this was caught in another country. I've never seen anything like this before. I don't think you guys have either. This was a first for me, right? So it blew me away, man. I was like, holy crap. What the heck was that? Somebody happened to grab a really good photo or off their video camera. And it looks like it's staring right at them. So I kind of brought it in a little bit more. This is from the torso up. So as I started looking, there's some kind of gadget on its left rib if it's facing you, right? So there's something on its left rib. And then I started looking at the pixelation. So if you sharpen it up and add too much definition, it'll pixel into a square, right? So I was trying to back it off a little bit because I wanted to see if the natural background and itself was an actual real entity, not a superimposed, in other words, an AI or anything like that, CGI. I wanted to make sure. So no, everything matched up. Everything. You see that little silver thing on its left side? I've never seen anything like this, where the eyes are almost blended in with the head completely. Totally same color mask or whatever it is, headgear or with the body. It looks human, but then it doesn't. To me, the thing is that we're looking at a extraterrestrial craft in the background. That's what got my attention because of that craft. I was thought to myself, well, maybe somebody in a suit, but no, man, it's looks like it's part of the skin, right? And this is what people talk about when they see these extraterrestrials. Some of these, they say, or even some of them do wear clothes, but some of them look like, they say they almost look like they're naked, but they're not. That's what you just saw there. Look, it almost looks naked, but it's not. And you can see the skin is actually reflecting from the light that's in front of it, of the flash, because there's a flash. Somebody took a flash of this thing. So I went up to the head and I wanted to make sure that I was seeing what I was seeing. And so I brought this out on the head, and then I used a little bit of analysis on it to make sure that it was something there, something real standing there, right? Not that it's superimposed. So here's the head, and I used a filter, right? So this filter is showing you is that something is standing there. You can see all the neck muscles, the neck. Everything's there. It's not masked at all. And that's what just kind of freaked me out on that one. I was like, oh my God. I always hear about that one. I've just never seen one. Let's see. David Aliff says, looks like the one and the three, and looks like the one we saw when we were abducted. So they did look like this, David. I just want to make sure, brother, that this is what they look like. Almost look human, but they're not. To me, this would blend in very good with the background and or with the night at nighttime, right? So if you saw this in a forest or something, it would be hard. It'd be more camouflage, really, in reality. But it's got that green color and maybe a darker haze to it, real flat looking, not shiny like us. Like, let's just say us humans, we put some flashy stuff and it's shiny and it's that pleather or is real shiny and stuff that we put our clothes on. This is not. This has a flat base to it. So if you're looking at this, look, it's very flat based, almost like their craft, right? The UFOs, how they're made of. And this is how we know what's a real UFO and what's not. If it's super shiny and all this nice stuff on it, no, it's not real. If it's flat based like this and it has a metallic, like a something that looks like was melted metal and it's got a flat base to it, it's real. And this is the way the skin looks on this. So, which gives me the idea that that is real. Right? And the reason I bring this up today again, because these things are getting closer and closer, and they're starting to reveal themselves a little bit more now, right? Like David's story, even John's story. This a lot of these things happen to where nobody got to see, just the experiencers or the abductees. And it was hard for them to tell the story. But now that you have that picture that I just showed you of this extraterrestrial, keep that in your mind. That right there. All right. So, same guy, Juanito Juan in Mexico, 4 days ago, he shares this. Something is in my living room. And he took a picture. Hard to see. But look, I started zooming in. Look how tall this thing is. That's his door right there. Doors are what, 83, 85 inches? That's, what, 6 feet? And this thing is close to the door. Look at the eyes. Again, look at the body structure. This is in his house, folks. In his house. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd be scared shitless on this one if I saw something like that. And of course, I'm always packing, so I would have fired some shots at least, to say the least. That's just me, because to begin with, nobody's supposed to be in your house, right? Nobody's supposed to be in your house. Regardless if it's somebody playing a sick joke or whatever, nobody's supposed to be in your house. So imagine walking up at 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning. One of your sensors goes off in the house of your cameras, and this is what you catch. This is the same guy, man. The same guy that I just showed you that video of. The orbs that he catches in his house. The spheres, the little blue spheres now. Now he's got an entity walking in his house. Now he's got the entities walking outside his house. Right? This one. Same guy.
Otro tapadón de boca para la gente que no cree en esto. Vean cómo empieza a... Y vean ahí. Voltea.
Same guy. Right? I don't know about you, man, but there's a connection between him and those extraterrestrials. For some reason, they want him, or they've had him already. They just keep on coming around him more and more in a physical sense, right? We always hear about they're coming in a fourth dimension. They're coming from different dimensions. But how is it that they're coming to these from different dimensions, which we can't only see past 3 dimensions, right? Our eyes can only see 3-dimensional. That's it. We can't see in the 4th, 5th, 6th. So, and these things coming through all of a sudden, and it's in his living room, mind you. And then now we're starting to see them in more of a physical sense. That's physical right there. I even showed you the analysis on it of the physical body of this thing that is standing there. I know that there's a physical body there. I know that for sure. So it's not CGI or what do you call that? Photoshop. There's an actual physical body there. Whether it's extraterrestrial or not, I know that there's a physical body there. It looks freaking real to me. David just said that it looked like the ones that abducted him and his brother when they were children. Now, that is to me, is the knife in the coffin, right? Or the last nail in the coffin, really, to show you guys here in audio and video land that is disclosure, man. Everything I showed you here today is disclosure when it comes to extraterrestrials, right? Anything out there? UFOs, analysis, everything this above this guy's house. Somebody out there saying hi. Hey, how you doing? So this is what is happening in real time to this gentleman, right? So these things, if they are jumping in from different dimensions, if it's the possibility of that they are, then they want him for some reason, right? They want him for some reason. We always see them in these are orbs. When we catch these little aliens and faces inside of orbs, this is what is inside of orbs sometimes, right? Then we see it more in a physical sense, to where this is what we're starting to see now, right? So my whole point and this whole process today, everything that I showed you, my whole presentation to you today was to show you that extraterrestrials are real. They're not a figment of our imagination. They are in a physical sense. They can be translucent as well. But lately, they've been more in a physical sense, to where they're starting to catch them more and more. And that is the hardest part of explaining to people that this is what these things are, right? You know what my job is here? Is for disclosure, yes. But my job is to show you. Remember when I tell you about myself? Don't just tell me, show me. I'm showing you right now. Right? So that way you guys that are, my Facebook friends, think I'm a nut or crazy. No, I'm not a nut. I just do research, man. This is what this is. This is research to open your mind, open your eyes to see what's out there besides us. Something else is walking around out there besides us. And the only way that I can tell you is to show you. So everything that I catch, everything that I see, I usually analyze it. I go down deep. I go into the rabbit hole, everything like that, because I want you guys to know that everything that I do, it's just not, okay, I just did it real quick. Bam, it's done. No, I sit there for hours and hours all day. It took me all day to prepare this presentation for you guys today, all day, 5 hours, right? Because I wanted you guys to see exactly, and I wanted to try to explain it the best way I could to you guys because of that last photo of this one. Because that one right there did it for me, because everything that I've heard of these things, and they say that their clothing is almost like their skin. This right here tells you that this is exactly what people have seen, right? And what they have described on, let's say, MUFON or any of these disclosure places, right? They describe these things. And I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast today and this presentation of how I explain this to you, because I want you to know that everything that I do, and I do because I love everybody. I love everything that I do with disclosure. And I love all you guys out there as well. And I want to make sure that you guys are learning as much as I'm learning as well. Everything that I'm learning, I'm throwing it onto you. I'm giving you the knowledge, man. The same way that I'm receiving it. I might be receiving it through frequencies as well, through the 963 hertz that I listen to every day for hours and hours in my office, right? I listen to it all the time. And that's why I said, go check out this last audio podcast. And I talk about it, Temple of Life. It's an audio. So you can find it on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Alexa. We can play it for you. And it's an audio, right? So it's not video like this. That was pretty important. And I'm going to end this podcast with, I saw this presentation of Joe Rogan and John Hancock. And I don't know if you heard that podcast, but they talked about consciousness and life, right? They kind of dove deep into it on consciousness, life, and you as a human being, and how to be good people and bad people, right? And what possibly happens to you afterwards, right? In the afterlife. But I want to end it with this because I want you guys to get a grasp of what these guys were talking about and how deep they were talking, right? About people, consciousness, really, reality, of who we are as human beings, and how we go down these rabbit holes of these things, right? But as human beings, to be better people, right? And to show you and to be good to each other. But I'm going to close this out. Check this out real quick. About a minute long, maybe 2 minutes. All right. Check this out. Enjoy this. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Check it out.
So confusing. Just consciousness. Just like, what is it? Why are we conscious? What is it local, or are we tuning into consciousness? And when you die, where's that go? Where's that energy go? Is the soul a real thing? Like, what is the essence of life? What is the essence of human life and human consciousness? Those are perplexing questions.
They're very perplexing questions, which actually are of great significance to every one of us. Yeah, I mean, suppose death just is the end, then that's a way not to have to take too much responsibility for our lives, for the impact that we've had on others, for the pain that we may have caused, or for the joy that we may have caused. If death's the end, there's no up or downside to that, whatever we do. But from the ancient Egyptian point of view, death's not the end, and you have been given the precious gift of life. What did you do with it? And there are moral aspects to that question. There's these 42 assessors, they're called the negative assessors, who ask the soul of the deceased questions about what they did in life. And those are all moral questions. They bear some relationship actually to the Ten Commandments. But there's another question, which is called the weighing of words. And that question is, what did you do with the gift we gave you? We gave you the gift of the human life. We gave you the gift of the opportunity to love or to hate, at your choice. We gave you the gift to live in a human body, to have this incredible consciousness, to be able to integrate all kinds of information from all kinds of spheres. What did you do with it? Did you leave the world a better place or a worse place than when you came into it? Did you hurt and damage and cause pain to others consistently, out of wicked intent, not accidentally but deliberately causing pain? And there are human beings who do that. For the ancient Egyptians, that kind of behavior meant an introduction to Amit, the eater of the dead. And Amit is displayed in the judgment scene. He's a creature, part hyena, part lion, and he sits there, and certain souls do not go on. Their journey ends, and it ends because of the choices they made during life, and because they never
All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Thank you guys for the comments. Give me thumbs up, man. Give me some hearts out there so I can see them fly through. Appreciate it. I hope you guys learned a little bit today and just got a little bit of disclosure. A little bit of disclosure on extraterrestrials and everything that's out there that we cannot see sometimes. But when we do, we grasp it and we embrace that, because we have to we have to work harder for disclosure, right? And sometimes these congressmen, like I talked about before, when they do these congressional hearings, a lot of times they'll listen to you, write it down, put it in a file, throw it on a top shelf somewhere, and it'll collect dust, right? And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that they do that, but because some people are still kind of embarrassed about this stuff. I'm talking about these governors, senators, things like that. They're kind of afraid to talk about it. But I think the more that we bring out disclosure like this, like I just showed you today, the more you share this kind of podcast or just share anything that you found out there, and just so people can open their eyes and see, the more disclosure we can get out there, the more people will be out there and on board to what's out there in real time, what's happening now, right? Because we live in the now, and like they just talked about, make this a good life, best life you can, be a good person, right? We want to make sure we make it to the other side. Hey, I want to go to those pearly gates. I don't know about you, but I do. All right, guys. Love you guys. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one, man. Don't forget to follow all these podcasts, follow everything. Go to our YouTube pages, Patreon, all these good places. Go look for us everywhere, man. Don't forget, catch the last podcast I just did, the audio one, Temple of Life. Great podcast there, man, for relaxation kind of thing. Get you thinking, just like I just did here today. Don't forget the middle movies. All this is a disclosure for you guys. Share these films. They're on Amazon Prime. Part 4 I'm working on now. It'll be out by the mid of next year. All right. So then you guys have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good evening. And have yourselves a good night. Have a good one. Thank you for staying up with me. It's past your bedtime. Go to sleep. All right. Bye.
Holy crap.
I believe it was 5 separate craft. That's some straight UFO shit right there.
That's when I started seeing all of the lights and the contact that I've been witnessing. I just kept filming and looking up at the sky, and it just started happening more frequently.
Look, what is that? What is that?